So my topic and presentation is going to be going over dissociative identity disorder by myself, Ethan Dolwell. So dissociative identity disorder is a psychiatric mental health condition in which a person is living with two or more identities slash personalities at the same time. Oftentimes they don't even know that they're dealing with this. They kind of just have their mind just kind of blanks out while those other personalities are in use and just completely forgets about the other ones. Known as multiple personality disorder or split personality disorder. There's other names for it. Each personality is like completely own person, can have own traits, memories, preferences. So if you were to like talk to someone with DID, and they were like a different one of the personalities was like in full control of the brain, it'd be like talking to two different people than the other personality would be. Thankfully, this is extremely rare, affecting only around 0.01% of the population. Since it is very difficult to deal with, that is a good thing that it's so rare. And it stems from like one single main personality, which is the one that's always been there. And then one or more alters will like can range in gender and ethnicity and age. So you have like your main personality, that's what you really are, and then due to what I will get to in a little bit, you will get different alters that can sometimes take control of the brain depending on how you're feeling. Symptoms can range from a variety of things: anxiety, depression, delusion, memory loss, suicidal thoughts. Obviously, this is all due to how difficult it is to deal with not being in like full control of your own brain and like switching personalities. It's obviously very awful thing to deal with and will definitely affect you negatively. Unfortunately, it's impossible to cure completely. Symptoms can just be lessened or controlled better. So I'm obviously they're researching this, trying to prevent it completely. But for the time being, we're only able to make it a little bit better for the person dealing with it. Obviously, it can lead to feelings of loss of control because you're not fully in control of your own brain, and there's like obviously different personalities fighting basically for control of your own brain. Current treatments involve like psychotherapy in order to merge the personalities or get to the problem, which I will get to in a second. Even things like meditation or hypnosis can help to almost like trick your brain into only professing that like main personality that's you that you want to show. It is hard to diagnose, as like for many children, it will often be written off as like ADHD or some different disorder, just because it is so rare. There's not a ton of cases or like evidence of it, since it is such a different disorder. So what causes this? Consensus cause for this disorder is either trauma or sexual abuse, usually during like formative years of your childhood. Neglect can also play a major role in causing this, because if you're not interacting with people, your brain's gonna not know how to socialize. It'll kind of hide in itself and cause like other personalities in instead of interacting with real people. People suffering with DID subconsciously use the multiple personalities as a way to block out or forget the suffering they faced in early childhood from either that trauma or abuse. Plans often revolve around facing that past trauma, because a lot of times they just forget about it and have purposely blocked it out. But if they actually face it, talk about what happened, it's a lot easier to come up with a treatment plan and overcoming that. Isn't possible to completely cure it, as I said earlier, but if you have therapy, medicine, and people around you that say like it's not your fault, we're here to help you, all of that can help the symptoms and severity of the disease be reduced. So there's one study on DID I did by the psychiatrists Simon Wilkinson and Margaret DeJong. They set out to better understand the causes of DID, how to better diagnose it. As I said earlier, it's very often misdiagnosed, unfortunately, and how to further research it in the future. They did connect it that when a child's mind is forming and they experience like sexual or physical abuse, it's very difficult for them to comprehend it, because they can't even fully understand what just happened or why an adult prevalent in their lives would do something like that. And then addition to like lack of acknowledgement from adults in their lives can lead to a regressive state into their own mind to escape kind of what they're dealing with in the external world. Because yeah, like if one of your parents did something like this, and they're not even acknowledging that it happened, it's very difficult to comprehend as a young child. This symptom of dissociation, as I keep saying, is often misdiagnosed, and they want to look to actually solidify this definition so they can help those that actually do have DID and are suffering with it. They did find a linkage between this and PTSD, because oftentimes PTSD is definitely more common, but does happen for many reasons, partly due to past traumas or abuse. They found that oftentimes kids will have nobody to seek help with because their parents are the ones inflicting the abuse. So yeah, obviously if a parent is the one doing this abuse, they're not gonna bring them to like a psychiatrist because that will just make it worse for them, unfortunately, and the kid can't do anything about it because they're so young. They found maternal unavailability and disoriented responses from the parents can also worsen effects because as a kid, you need that like connection to your mother to help you like develop correctly and all that stuff. Certain abandonment issues can also happen in childhood, and any pre-traumatic events can also lead to a higher likelihood of these dissociation symptoms due to your inability to have either strategies for comfort or protection. If you had nobody to help you face that abandonment early in your life, then you're just going to kind of be on your own, having to deal with all these issues with your own self. There are a couple celebrities, I guess, in real life that have suffered with this. Adam Duritz, the lead singer for Counting Crows, has dealt with it, but he's been able to definitely better the symptoms with a strong support system, professional help, and medication. Marilyn Monroe also suffered with this. People believe this because she grew up in a foster home, never really had anybody to connect with at a young age. And her mother also had it supposedly, so that's definitely another cause for it. So this could have been a factor in her drug overdose due to either the anxiety or depression or whatever she had to deal with due to DID. And then also former NFL running back Herschel Walker still suffers with it, but he's wrote a book about it. He's doing much better now, thankfully. And then also displayed in a couple like movies. The movie Split, the antagonist of the movie has DID, and it's like he has like 40 different alters, but like one of them is very evil and like hates everyone in the world and wants to destroy it, while like the other alters are trying to stop him from doing this. It's like a horror thriller movie. Also, Fight Club, spoiler alert for a movie that came out 20 years ago. The main character, the narrator, believes he's talking to this friend, Tyler Durden, who incites anarchy and violence, but it's actually just another alter or personality of himself that's doing this, and he doesn't even know it. So these are definitely kind of negative portrayals of the disorder, kind of use them as evil or violent. And I'm not sure how I feel about that. I definitely think people with DID are not bad people, they're not evil people. It's not their fault that they have to deal with this, and oftentimes most of the time, they're harmless and will not cause anything close to what these characters do. So I definitely think in the future, more positive portrayals of this disorder would be helpful to those dealing with it, because it is very unfortunate and obviously not their fault what they had to deal with. And they're not bad people just because they have DID. And these are my sources. Thank you for listening, and that is my presentation on dissociative identity disorder.